there are 4 goals for this video. 1, give you Carnival book recommendations. 2, give you partial recommendations for Carnival books. I'll explain that in a second. 3, tell you some books on my TBR that are Carnival books. And 4, beg you for more books with Carnival settings. If you're not aware, in the month of May, I am hosting another round of Escape the Readathon. This is a competitive team-based readathon, and this year is set at a carnival. You do not have to read horror or thriller or carnival-themed books to participate, but the general theme is the Black Cat Carnival. There are 4 teams that are in this carnival, and it seems like a normal carnival at first, then all of a sudden things switch and they are in a very rundown version, and there are these game masters forcing them to play games to earn tickets to escape. It is so much fun. It is not too late to join, so everything for that is linked in the description. If you like carnivals in general, there's some really fun merch. I mean, this is part of it, but there are also these ticket stickers, a sticker sheet. These are really small stickers, great for reading journals. And then there are also these ticket bookmarks. I am truly obsessed with them, so I just wanted to show them off. I'm so proud of how they turned out, and they are double-sided, so they all look like a ticket. So there are the 4 teams. I would love, love, love for you to participate. You can read any books you want. Anything you've read so far this month can be backlogged and count. And the prompts are pretty vague, so you can really fit in whatever you want throughout the month. So I'm going to be starting with my recommendations. I have 4 recommendations that are like very carnival heavy. And then I have some recommendations that are kind of carnival themed, but like not as carnival themed, / I didn't really like them, but you might. Then I have some books on my TBR that are set at carnivals. And then generally throughout the video, I would love carnival recs from you. I think they're so much fun. I don't know what it is, but like the setting really adds to the story for me. So leave your recommendations in the comments. So my first recommendation is Taste Like Candy by Ivy Tholen. I had such a fun time with this one. We are following these high schoolers who are about to go into their senior year, and they get invited to this scavenger hunt that happens every year with upcoming seniors, and they end up having to do the scavenger hunt at a local carnival, amusement park, one of the two. They're the same thing. Well, not really, but it's fine. And it's dark and there is somebody coming after them. This is one where the first half you're really getting to know the characters, and then the carnival stuff happens in the second half. But I just think it's so fun. The kills that happen in it were just like so good. This one might not work for everybody because the first half is just learning about the backstory of these characters. I do find that slashers are a really hard balance because you need to care about the characters to care about them when the slashing starts to happen. If you don't have any of that, I'm just not invested. But also there needs to obviously be the slashing in the book. It's a hard balance, and I do think that this one doesn't balance it the best, but I really liked learning about the characters, and I thought that everything was interesting, so it kept my attention, and I was still really invested when the slashing started to happen later on. So that is my first recommendation. Next is The Cotton Candy Massacre by Christopher Robertson. This one is following the reopening of a carnival that is called Bonkin's Bonanza. Oh, this one has a QR code for a playlist in it. I have not scanned that, but I should. I am very interested to see what is on that list. Anyway, we are following these characters who are going to Bonkin's Bonanza that has just reopened. There was a situation that happened in the past that caused it to close down. The first chapter of this is very interesting. And then later somebody finds this item from the carnival that was open and decides that this is like the inspiration they needed to reopen it. So the carnival is opened again, and on opening day we follow different characters who are going to the carnival, and things very quickly start to go wrong. So we are following Candy and Lee, and then also Rocky and Sully. And it says, for many of the thrill seekers and families visiting Bonkin's Bonanza, that day would be their last, and the events that unfolded would go on to become infamously known as the Cotton Candy Massacre. This one really, really has a lot of carnival elements in it. I thought that it was a really fun time. I do think it was a little long, but we are following a lot of characters, so it makes sense. I thought this one was super entertaining. I liked what was happening behind this one. It felt unique. I really liked the kills that happened. Everything in here was just so thematic and fun, and I was entertained the whole time, and I would highly recommend it. Next up is controversial, and this is Hide by Kirsten White. I did not hate this one like a lot of people do. So this one was so hyped. Like the cover is incredible. It has these like carnival map end papers, but I read it later than everybody else. Like I was so hyped before it came out and then everyone was hating it. I read it after those reviews with, I guess, the correct expectations. This one does read very young, but here's the thing. A lot of slashers I've noticed follow teenagers, so it makes sense that they read younger. Tastes Like Candy has high school kids. The Cotton Candy Massacre is following high school kids. Another one I'm going to talk about follows high school kids. I guess the issue with this one is that they were supposed to be a little bit older and they read younger, but it is what it is. And then this one is more fade to black. Like the things that are happening in here, something is about to happen and then it kind of like goes away and you don't really see anything, which is a choice. And there are two characters with the same name for no reason. I really don't understand that one. I gave this one 3 stars. I liked the direction it went in. A lot of people don't. But I thought that that part was super interesting, and I like an ambiguous ending, even though a lot of people that read this don't. Anyway, this is following these characters who have signed up to be on this TV show where they are pretty much like living in this abandoned carnival for an undetermined amount of time. I can't really remember, but they're being filmed and they have to play hide and seek to win the games. I generally did enjoy this one. I see its faults, but I do think if you go in with the correct expectations, it is still a fun time. Next, I have Cirque Berserk by Jessica Guess. This is another massacre that has happened in the past. This one is not a reopening, but these high school kids are going. They're on their school, like, senior trip and they're so bored and they decide that they're going to leave and they are close to Cirque Berserk, which is the carnival where a massacre happened in 1989. A group of teens killed a dozen people and then disappeared. And nobody knows specifics of that. They don't know why this happened or anything. And then 30 years later, these friends go and things very quickly start to go wrong for this group of kids. This one was so entertaining. I thought it was very fast-paced and fun. This one has music in it as well. Slashers are a little hard to talk about because, like, obviously most of the plot is them getting to this place and then slashing happening. I liked the stuff that was going on behind the scenes that you obviously don't figure out until later. I thought that was really interesting. As of right now, this one and Tastes Like Candy are both on Kindle Unlimited. If you have that, I would highly recommend both. I think they're so much fun. So that is the end of my official carnival recommendations. Technically, I think Tastes Like Candy is an amusement park, but it feels very much like a carnival. There's like the games and stuff in it as well. So then going off of that, I have some recommendations for books that didn't completely fit or ones I didn't like. So I'm going to start off with my favorite recommendation, and this one is a clown book. It is Clowns vs. Spiders by Jeff Strand. We are following these clowns that work at do they work at a carnival? I think it's a circus. And they all end up losing their jobs. The circus carnival thing is like shutting down and they want to continue being clowns. So they end up working at a haunted house and they hate it. They want to be good clowns. They don't like being part of the stereotype of like clowns are scary and bad, but they need jobs. So they do it and it's hilarious. And then they end up having to fight these spiders. It's so much fun. I really, really highly recommend that one. I believe the ebook is on Kindle Unlimited as well. Then I have one where only the first chapter is carnival themed, but it's so good. And that is Don't Move by James Murray and Darren Wearmouth. The first chapter of this is set at a carnival and it like leads to everything that happens in the rest of the book. But the first chapter, oh my god, I'm completely obsessed with it. The rest of the book I still enjoyed, but I don't think it's as good. And then that has to do with spiders. But I just wanted to recommend this because the first chapter, incredible. Then I have Fantastic Land by Mike Bockoven. This one I enjoyed. It wasn't an absolute favorite for me, but this one is definitely amusement park. Like roller coasters, that kind of vibe, which kind of fits, but just like feels different to me. I feel like circus and carnival feel like the same vibe, and then an amusement park is a little bit different when it's like focused on like roller coasters and stuff. Anyway, I did enjoy this one. It's not an absolute favorite for me, but it is following these people that are working at an amusement park, and I believe a hurricane is coming through and kind of shuts down their access to the rest of the world, and watching them kind of interact as people and trying to survive after they realized they were stranded. Then one that I didn't really love, but it does fit in that is Silo Bend by Alan Baxter. I truly don't remember many details of this. There is a carnival. For me, it wasn't very exciting, and I truly cannot remember really anything that happened, but I do know that a lot of people like this one. So if you are on the lookout for carnival books, there's one for you. And then another one that I DNF'd because I didn't really vibe with the writing style is The Sight by Melanie Golding. This one follows this girl that can talk to ghosts or something like that. The premise is so good. So if that sounds interesting to you, maybe give it a go. I just like didn't vibe with the writing style and could not focus on it. So there's a book that exists if you want to look into it. And then I have 6 that are on my TBR. I don't really know much about them other than they fit with this vibe. The first one is Taste Like Candy 2. The second one is The Cotton Candy Massacre Part 2. I'm assuming there's a clown named Toots. I don't know. Both of those are horror. Another horror one is Scratch by David, I can't read my handwriting, David Douglas Jr. I got this from the Stuff Your Kindle horror version that happened, I guess, in October. And then another one I got from there is The Showman's Ghost by Candace Adams. They both had like clowns and stuff on the cover and they looked carnival themed, so I want to check those out. Love when I run out of storage while filming. Anyway, the next one I have is Wonderland by Jennifer Hillier. I've read a few from this author and I've heard really good things about this one. I think this one is a little bit more of an amusement park, but there's a clown museum, creepy wax replicas, and most importantly, a dead body. And then the last one is Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. I am scared of this one. I don't really read books that are classics or like older books or whatever, but I feel like this one is like one of the original carnival type books, so I am interested in it. I don't know the synopsis. I don't know the synopsis of any of the books that I'm interested in reading, but I thought I would mention them to you in case you were interested as well. So those are the 15 carnival adjacent books. I think it's such a fun trope in horror and thriller books. I think the like size of the carnival and like places to hide and creepy things like that are just really interesting. It's a lot of fun. If you've read any of these books and enjoyed them, I'd love to know your thoughts on them. Just a reminder that everything for Escape the Readathon is linked in the description. If you have made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji to say we're here, you can leave me a merry-go-round, like the horse on a merry-go-round. There's one of those emojis, so leave me that in the comments and I will see you soon. Bye.